You are listening to the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast following a complete no-show in the Big Apple. But we're here to break it down and a couple of giveaways later on in the show. I'm Ross Levitan alongside at Laleem's Martian, and always joining me, it's Brandon Pillar. You can follow him on Twitter at BrandonPillar1. Pillsy, as we start every Postcast, how'd you feel about a 5-1 loss to the New York Rangers?
Not great, Ross. And I mean,
Okay.
thank God for Anton Forsberg, because this game could have got even more out of control, if you can believe it, because there was no offensive effort at all from the Sens in this one. And Forsberg had to make a bunch of amazing saves. And Chris Kreider, 2 goals, almost 50 goals this season. He's looking good. Panarin's looking good. That team is just ready for a deep run. And I believe they clinched a playoff spot with this win. So look out for the New York Rangers.
That's the anti-sensing, although come playoffs, that's my squad. I got some shekels, shout out Bet Online, for them to win the Eastern Conference and the Stanley Cup. I got them Stanley Cup 2,200 to none, and I knew they were going to add at the deadline. Andrew Kopp gets a goal for them tonight. That was an absolute beauty. Short side. Jeez, he went upstairs on that one. Martian, your initial takeaway from that gong show?
Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing, boys. That was a tough one to hang in there for as a fan, especially the first 2 periods. The Sens had 9 shots on goal in the first 2 periods, so got to feel for
right?
All the boots on the ground that we got messages from. You got to feel for all those people who are sitting there watching that effort. That's just pathetic, but it's pretty funny. I was listening to the MSG broadcast, and in the intermission, they had Henrik Lundqvist on there, right on the panel. And he was like, the Sens, they looked after the first period. He goes, the Sens looked weak. They looked a little weak. That's what he said. And then in the second intermission, he goes, I was a little off on my analysis on the Sens in the first intermission. I said they looked a little weak. They look very weak. So that pretty much goes to show you right there what kind of effort that they had tonight. I don't think Henrik watches a lot of Sens games, but if that's the takeaway he's going to have from them, you can't really blame him this night.
Yeah, you can blame all 18 skaters, though. Spin zone. I know the boys got to New York City last night. Is the L worth a nice little bonding night in the meatpacking district?
First time at MSG since 2019, so it's been a while.
I was at the last game.
There you go. Yeah,
I haven't heard a lot of rumblings about when the Sens rookie party was either. It would have been maybe a good night for that in New York City. Yeah. And they had a lot of younger guys in the lineup tonight, I think, too, right? With Castle and Parker Kelly's on that. I mean, the rookie list is pretty short. So
Stogie, ooh,
maybe that's what happened. Let's hope.
Well, Mark Kaslick was one of the few solid bright spots, I think, in this one. So just to go through the game, I mean, Ottawa opens a scoring here in this one. You're like, holy geez, I got a rowdy phone call from my boys who were going to the game. They had a box. Geez, take it easy, fellas. But no, so I get this call, and they're all going wild, and one of them just sticks their head over the top. He goes, Austin Watson, anytime goal scorer, book it. I said, all right, I'll throw 5. And he scores literally minutes into this game. But, Pilsy, that was all Mark Kaslick. And we'll give Parker Kelly some credit as well, but that pass from Kaslick right on the tape.
Yeah, it was an amazing pass. And I mean, Austin Watson, he's showing that he's got some offensive touch if he gets in the right spots at the right time. And that fourth line was buzzing to start the game, and DJ Smith threw them out there a handful of shifts in the first 10 minutes of the first period because they were out there banging bodies. They scored the opening goal. So Kaslick, Kelly, and Watson, I don't know about you guys, but I would have no problem if that was next year's fourth line.
Pretty much, yeah. That's probably what I kind of expected to be, I think, too, right? So, yeah. I don't mind that at all. The big issue tonight was probably, the depth was the issue. It was the third line, though, that you look at and you say, ooh, there's a lot of improvement that can be done there. And I don't know if any of those 3 guys from that third line are going to be on the roster next year, so maybe we don't need to worry about it too much. But when you have Gaudette, Gambrell, and Tierney as your L3, that's trouble, I think. And it kind of showed. They didn't really generate a whole lot, and they were getting hemmed in left and right, I thought.
Yeah, and this was a type of game which is strange to me, although it did get pulled away pretty early. By the halfway mark of the
nobody
second
was
period.
Good. Yeah.
It was 3-1, but it could have been 5-1 by then. And what did Ottawa have for shots on goal? 3 in the first period. Yeah. So even though they somehow miraculously got out of that first period, tied at 1. You could probably see this wasn't going to be their night. So with that said, I probably stick with what DJ Smith did, knowing that you're playing at home tomorrow night. Why not just roll 4 lines? Like, you look at the ice time tonight, nobody played a whole lot. Nobody played less. I think the fewest amount of ice time was 12:31 is Parker Kelly, the lowest time on ice among anybody on this team. Usually you got a guy at 8-9 minutes. So, and then the most ice time, Artem Zub played 21 and a half, but beyond that, only one other player with over 20 minutes, and that's Eric Brandstrom. And there's no sensational standouts from this game. I think that's probably pretty easy to say.
I don't know. I would give one to Forsberg, even though like 5 goals, that's not great, but he had to make
848 save percentage.
That was my game plan. If you guys were going to let me go first, I was going to take Forsberg, but if not, I was going to abstain. I was ready to abstain.
All right. So then I don't feel so bad then. And hashtag goalie friendly show. Like, I don't think too many of those goals are his fault. Like Chris Kreider, one of the best goal scorers in the league, getting opportunities. Panarin wide open out front. Strome had a nice one. Kopp, we mentioned. He's got, I think 11 points in 10 games with the Rangers. Kopp does. So clearly a good pickup. So I don't blame him too much for these goals. And when there's no offense generated, like 5 goals is probably going to happen against this Sens team.
And this is an 0-3 season against the New York Rangers. And the closest they got was ultimately the furthest they got, because they were up 2-1 with 5 minutes left. Matt Murray gets hurt. Kreider falls on him.
I was there. It was brutal.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was a tough one. That was a tough one.
Brady got in a tilt in that game, didn't he?
Yeah, he fought Trouba right in front of the net. And then the other moment from that game, which is actually kind of topical at this time, is Stützle took a diving penalty with like 3 or 4 minutes left.
Ooh.
He drew 3 penalties in that game.
Yeah, so it was actually, it was one of those weird cases where he actually did get tripped, but they called the dive instead of the penalty on the other guy. So
is that the one where the stick was caught up like in his skates and he was like, how is this a trip? And he was
total can opener.
Yeah, that one was garbage. I just watched that one recently. Brutal.
Do you know what tonight's game actually reminded me of? And too bad they scored that 5th goal. Otherwise, it would really ring true. Games 3 and 4 in the playoff series. Yeah, sure, Ottawa won the series at MSG in Game 6, but games 3 and 4, I came back with absolutely no confidence for Game 5. And then there was a wild Game 5. Remember, that was the game Turris ultimately scores the overtime winner. But those 2 games, I believe they were both 4-1 scores at MSG. I know Pilsey's not a historian of the game.
You don't got me here, that's for sure.
I'm sure someone in the comments remembers, but I got to say they had no chance in either of those games at MSG. And
I remember they had no chance, but I don't remember the scores.
It had that same vibe to it. So I'm going to call it out that's what it was here tonight. It was just the MSG curse, and maybe a little too big of a moment for them. Although the shots were at least closer. It was back-to-back 4-1 losses. But the shots were 27-30 and 23-30 in those 2 games. But this was just an absolute no-show for the Ottawa Senators. And you know what? For a team that has the injuries that they do, and I'm not making excuses, you still have to, show up and give your all. But with the amount of injuries they have, I'm surprised that there haven't been more games where we're talking like this. So, like, you look at Detroit, for example, a team that some think is ahead of Ottawa in the rebuild. They've got some absolutely gross losses this year. Ottawa's, for the most part, kept them close.
Yeah, this was just an ugly matchup for the Sens, I think. Like, the Rangers play such a steady, strong game. Like, they're good everywhere you look. So it's tough to generate a whole lot against them. And they're all veterans. I think the youth kind of got in the Sens' way, the inexperience especially too. And I don't know. It just didn't look like it from start to finish that the Sens are going to have any pop to get anything done there. And the Rangers are just a good team. That's what it is. They're a playoff team, and they didn't let the Sens play spoiler or get any confidence against them. They're like, no, we're not going to lose against you guys, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, Panarin just dominated the Sens this year, right? Like, he got the game winner in the last time they met, and now he's got 3 points tonight. Like, the superstars are going to take over games like this against Ottawa, and it's unfortunate because you hope and pray that this scrappy underdog team is going to be able to come out and surprise teams, but instead They don't do that. Artemi Panarin was 6 points in 3 games this season against the Ottawa Senators. So clearly he does well. I don't know if you saw that graphic. His points per game at MSG, he's got 1.5 points per game, which is only fewer than, I forget who the middle guy was, but Mario Lemieux is at 1.83 points per game at MSG, which is pretty incredible there. So unfortunate effort all around, but the good news is you got to bounce right back as the boys are back on home ice. Martian, do you have a standout from tonight's game?
No, like I said, I was going to abstain. So, yeah, it's crazy to think that Forsberg is any kind of standout with 5 goals against. But honestly, he made a lot of great saves early in the game and let them hang in there at least for a bit. So
yeah, I actually have in my notes here, one of his best saves of the night was identical to what Watson's goal was when Trouba was creeping in and the puck came out, and it was an identical save maybe 2 minutes after. So I thought that was going to be one of those momentum plays to carry them, but instead, it only made the score look a little prettier, put a bit of makeup on it there for a little while.
Lipstick on a pig.
Lipstick on a pig. Pilsey's go-to reference. I see a lot in the comments here talking about Detroit's rebuild. We know that the Buffalo Sabres signed Owen Power. So just a quick conversation here. Then we'll do our giveaways. We'll get out of here. Maybe touch on the Jets game tomorrow because that's another team. The Jets have 3 regulation wins in their last 17 games. They got a few overtime wins, but 3 regulation wins in the last 17 games. It's absolutely
Ross,
wild.
just quickly,
Whoa.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Derek, excuse me? Should I put him in a timeout?
Hey, Derek.
Oh,
Jesus. Well, I mean,
this
isn't a good time for my comment. Goalie sucked, though. Belleville, 6-2 loss.
Was it McNiven?
No, Gus started the game, and then McNiven came in. So not a good game for
Gus
for
was sick last night, though.
Yeah, definitely. But this was a tough loss to Rochester because Utica's like they're on another planet, right?
Yeah.
So beating them doesn't really change the race, but at Rochester that affects things.
Yeah, 100%. So what I was getting at there, Owen Power signs today. Basically, Steven Sens' doppelganger, maybe a few inches taller. Simon Edvinson's coming for Detroit, and Jake Sanderson with Ottawa. How would you power rank the 3 of those guys going forward? Because it's an arms race in the Atlantic Division with young defensemen.
Sorry, who was the second guy there, Ross?
Simon Edvinsson, the top 5 pick there at Detroit this past season. So he's going to come over for next year as well. I want to hear everyone in the comments power rank those 3 guys. I have a feeling that we got a little bias going here, but I know some people have had fun. We put up the poll as well of like the best 1-2 punch on the back end, but it's a little bit of a skewed play because Shabbat's like 4 years older than all these other guys, although I still think he'll be in his prime 5 years from now. But Power, Edvinsson, and Sanderson, how would you power rank them, Pills?
Sanderson, Power, Edvinsson.
I would go the same, and I'm trying my hardest not to be biased.
I don't care.
What I will say too is I don't really
Centers podcast.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it.
Yeah, be professional.
I saw him in the sorry, I'm not that professional. But no, I saw Edvinsson in the World Juniors, and that's pretty much it. I just know he's kind of a big lanky guy, and but Power is an incredible defenseman, and I love how big he is too, and his ability to move and shoot, and he does everything right. And it's weird that he's not physical, but I'm sure he could be when he needs to be. So
yeah.
I think Power is a really, really good defenseman, but I also know that Jake Sanderson is just like that new era style defenseman as well, where he's like going to walk the line all day. He's an incredible skater. So it'll be a fun battle to watch in that division to see who really comes out on top there. But that's probably where I'm going to.
Interesting that Owen Power was on the second team All-Americans, and they do an East and a West, but it was Luke Hughes and Owen Power, 2 Michigan defensemen that were on the second team. Jake Sanderson made first team despite only playing 23 out of, I believe, 34, 36, somewhere in the mid-30s, the total. So, I mean, that just speaks to the respect that he gets. And for people saying, well, yeah, he's the draft before, Owen Power, one of the oldest players from his draft, and Sanderson, one of the youngest. I think they're 4 months apart.
Also, Power was on a stacked Michigan team, too. That team was loaded. So, I mean, you got to take that into consideration, too. That's Point City. He can get points just by being on the ice.
100%. No, I hear you on that one. So, you know what? I'll give one little stick tap to Mark Kaslick.
Okay, I wanted to do that as well. Not quite standout worthy, but stick tap shout.
Yeah, 10th NHL game, too. Kids in double digits.
Yeah, and Ross, you know me, face-off guy. He had the most face-offs for any Senator, even more than Josh Norris, 16, and he went 69%. So nice for Mark Kaslick.
Nice, very nice. All right. Well, we've got people here that I'm sure are looking for the giveaway, and it's is it still at Adrift? Did he change his? I feel like he changed his username. What's Mark's Twitter name?
Martian's got
no,
the
it's
hook
Mark
up.
Savvy at Mark Savvy.
Yeah, so he changed it. It used to be Adrift Music. He's actually got the bangers.
Okay, yeah. So
we used his song once.
It's Mark Savvy now. Me and him teamed up on this one. So thanks to him for coming in there and providing the tickets for this. So we have 2 tickets to give away for next Saturday's game against the Leafs in section 116. It's row K. So
and you better not wear a Leafs jersey.
We're hoping the winner here is not a Leafs fan. I checked out the profile. It doesn't look like he is, so I think we're in the clear here. So we're looking at Brody LaRue. So it's BroDog9 on Twitter. He's the winner. He's the winner. So
how do you spell LaRue?
Oh, I definitely didn't spell it right on here, but it's
all right. Never mind. All good. I was just gonna put up a graphic. It's all good.
I just
hey, we're trying here, guys. We're trying.
Sounding out when I wrote it down there, Ross. But
we're not professionals. You can't expect much.
So Brody's gonna have the opportunity to bring a friend. I'll message him on Twitter, and I'll release it on Twitter too, in case he's not watching here right now. And then he'll provide his email, and then we'll send him the tickets. So congrats, Brody.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What a run! How many retweets did that get at the end of the day?
I think it was over 600. So pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, 100 level seats for Sens Leafs, Battle of Ontario. You kidding me? Throw the standings out of the window and those 2 teams get together.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. It's going to be a ride of a game, yeah.
Sure. We got a giveaway to do as well here. I got to pull this up. We're giving away a Tim Stützle materials card, and we got a lot of play on this one too, actually, 65. So I'm on my own for this one. I'm literally closing my eyes and I'm going to do it, okay? Because I'm really upset at or I don't want people to be upset at us. Pillsy, should I just make you pick it?
I trust you. You're an honest dude.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do.
If you weren't doing it live, I would send you a link that like you literally just load your tweet into it and set the parameters, and it'll randomly pick it for you. That's what I did.
Are you serious?
Oh, Martian. He knows.
Oh, yeah.
That's sick.
That's the best way to do it randomly, right?
What's the website?
Great radio, guys.
Twitterpicker.com.
Professional radio.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. Say stop. Say stop.
Here, I got it, Ross, right here.
I was gonna say if you say stop, then I'm just gonna keep scrolling and then I stop on it.
Okay, stop.
Okay.
Boom.
John McEwen.
John
McEwen is the winner.
Cheers.
Oh, I said barista. I thought it said Bengals. I was gonna say Pillsy's on for that one, but
hey,
yes, and
good people
hey,
too.
His header is a photo of Tim Stützle. So there you go. Good on you,
yeah,
John. He's got the umlauts in there as well. So that's awesome. That is some real professional radio right there. More professional, I think, than the effort we saw on the ice tonight. Senators lose 5-1 to the New York Rangers. Fellas, before we get out of here, what are you expecting for that Jets game tomorrow night? Are the boys going to bounce back or fold like a cheap tent?
Martian, take it.
I think they're going to bounce back. It'll be interesting to see if they get one of Timmy or Drake back. I know Drake was just an illness, so hopefully he's ready to go. And then Timmy, I don't think his knee injury is anything major, even though, it was obviously a dangerous play. So I think if we get one of those 2 guys back or both, that's going to give the Sens a lot of extra pop. So I'm expecting them to win against the Jets tomorrow. Zach Sanford's coming back into town.
Oh, I'm sure he's stoked.
We're gonna. I know
he'll probably be just as fired up as Boro was to come back to Ottawa. You think?
Yeah, you think he gets a tribute video?
Oh my god! I mean, he got a hat trick.
Post media might blow a gasket if they give him a tribute video. So maybe, yeah. Anyways,
I think they should.
I think the Sens will win.
DeMello's been back a ton, but not with fans.
Yeah.
He's been back, but not with fans. I think. Yeah.
Interesting. Did they do video tributes? Maybe people.
Yeah, they did.
No, but I mean without COVID
fans.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right. So no tribute then for Dylan DeMello. Although I think he deserves another one before Zach Sanford gets one.
Definitely.
You calling a win then, Martian?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Sens will bounce back.
Sogard, second
I
start.
might go.
Great
I might
Dane.
just buy tickets spur of the moment.
You
just
should.
go.
Why don't you try to sit behind the Great Dane? That'd be sick.
Yeah, maybe I will. I'll just film them the whole time. Live stream Great Dane. What's going on here?
There you
Hell
go. Absolutely love it. All right, fellas. Hey, everyone in the chat, appreciate it. We don't hide after losses. We've been told that before. But this one, call it what it is, an absolute stinker at Madison Square Garden. My poor buddies. I was on the invite list, not to brag, but thank God. Imagine Winnipeg to Toronto, Toronto to New York City. I was going to go for 2 nights just to go see this.
Oh, boy.
That would have won down your drive to Montreal, Bill C.
Definitely, yeah. But, I mean, getting to go to a box in Madison Square Garden, I don't care what the score is, that's probably a pretty sweet experience. So I wouldn't feel too bad for you, Ross.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. All right, let's get some Ghost Ends going in the chat. We'd always like to finish off that. Let everyone know that you can find the Locked On Senators podcast wherever you get yours, and on YouTube as well. The subscriber count is going up. Oh, we should mention we are in talks, so don't get your 3 Brewers pom-poms on just yet. Reservation is still pending there, but we might mix it up. We're trying to get a little promo. We're trying to do a little negotiating for everyone.
Sweeten the pot.
Sweeten the pot. We're trying to cheapen the pint. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
there we go.
if we can cheapen the pint for all the fellas, you see someone's coming in from Newfoundland for this?
Yeah, you gotta respect it. I mean, but it's Habs Sens, and with everything boiling up, like even without this, it's worth it for the entertainment value.
I mean, disrespectful for Rosie not to come over from Korea for the game, but we'll
yeah. Where's UK Senator at? He's he's flying all over for quick games. Make it, come on.
Yeah, 100%. I'm fired up, boys. 2 weeks today. 2 weeks today. We're gonna
go.
I'm fired up.
Shirts are on the way. It's official. Shirts are on the way. Merch is coming.
All right, awesome. And so once the merch gets out, hit us up on Twitter if you want some. We're gonna sell them for $40 per. I think it's might seem high, but we're also paying a bit for it and get some tax
coming out of our pockets.
Yeah, it's coming out of our pockets. So we'll have some fun. We also had some fun watching tonight's game. Psych. Nope, not tonight, but tomorrow it's another day. Sens, Jets. We'll see you in the postcast after that one. For Brandon Pillar, he's at Laleem's Martian, and I'm Ross Levitan, and this has been the Postcast following a Senators 5-1 loss at Madison Square Garden in front of Sens fans as well. Ugh, gross. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great